Okay, welcome in. Doing another slide to episode 2 um, run submission, but instead of any percent like the other submission I'm going to do, this will be 100%. For slide 2, 100% is not too different from doing full game any percent. The only difference between full game any percent and 100% is we can't do the skips in Cairo at the very beginning of the game because there's a specific line we need to hire from Murray to get the percentage for Cairo. So we can't do the cutscene skips. Then also within the episodes themselves, we need to collect the 30 bottles. Collect all the 30 bottles in the level, and then open up the safe and get the gadget that is locked inside that safe for 100% completion of an episode. Because that's how the episode at the end you'll see. I'll watch the credits out and I'll show that at the end screen, like I'll go back into the level and show that there's a percentage icon that says 100%. So, but that doesn't need to be verified as long as you like throughout the run. How we verify it, as long as you can see all individual 30 bottles are collected in the accepted manners, and there's like no splicing and stuff like that, and the person opens up the safe and gets the gadget and completes all the jobs which we have to play, you'll get 100%. Like there's no need to verify a screen that tells us that you got 100%. But with that, I'm going to load the game here to get the elephant cycle where I want it to be. The elephant cycle, there's an elephant that patrols out here in this outdoor area of the palace area plaza. We're gonna wait for this elephant. In a full game RTA run, we would not. We would just leave the safe house immediately and do Spire cutscene skip, which we'll do later in this run. Which I'll get to once we do the trick. Wait for this elephant. This should be good. Now, this is where movement gets interesting. With good positioning on that elephant, we can use him to get over the palace walls. But now, since this is where movement, I'm just gonna. Okay, fell a little bit there. That's fine. But we need to collect all the bottles, which is important. Taking it slow here. We'll collect 4 bottles in this first job. Use some glitch high jumps and square boost for quick movement. The 2 cornerstones of Sly 2 speedrunning movement tech are the glitch high jump and square boost. The square boost itself, Sly's jump itself is very slow, and you have to wait for him to fall slowly. And instead of jumping over ledges, we can actually press the square button and the X button on the same frame and preserve Sly's run speed or other movement speed addition into his jump. And right there, to skip these casual section of climbing across all the limbs to get up to that balcony itself to come in here to take photos. You can just go over to the archway, double jump on it, then either double jump or glitch high jump off of it to get up to the balcony very quickly. Now with the recon, we'll take these photos. This photo first section, we do it almost the same way every time. There's 2 different ways to do it. You either take the photo of Rajan first, or one of the wings first, then take it in quick succession order for good timing. And for the second section, we're going to take photos of 5 people, other Claw Gang members, and police personnel, Interpol personnel. But there's 5 people here that we need to take photos of. John Bassan, who we already have, Arpeggio, who we just took the photo of. This is the Contessa, the owner of not owner, but the runner of a prison that Interpol trusts very well and has a prominent position. Another interesting thing about this job itself, for the second part, when you take a picture of the Contessa, a flag gets set that allows Carmelita to spawn. Then after you take the photo of Carmelita, it sets a flag that allows Neela to spawn. So depending on like RNG and how they come out, because this is all RNG like happens. Like, we don't want guards to spawn here because this Rhino guard that we well, this bad RNG. These Rhino guards we lovingly call Reggie in the community. I forget who named them, but I would get that information beforehand. We lose about 6 seconds every time a guard spawns here, so it's bad to have guard spawns, but and in our reset setting we can't tell the game what RNG we want. And we'll quit out and reset the game here to skip the Bentley slideshow cutscene dialogue stuff. It's normally faster in most cases to quit out of the game and load back in the game. We're also in the Korean version of the game because it's the fastest language. It saves about 5 minutes and 40 seconds over the English version of the game. Just because the text scrolls a lot faster and the cutscenes end sooner because there's no more dialogue to be played, and that's how the game's programmed to end the cutscene if there's no more dialogue to be played. Okay, we're about to load back in here. We're about to do Spire cutscene skip, which we would do normally in RTA runs, and do the elephant second because we have to collect treasures in this, but we do it the opposite way because it's faster this way. But we'll glitch high jump around and use the sledge here and go around the cutscene trigger, and you'll be confused why I'm avoiding some bottles here, but I am collecting specific bottles for specific reasons. I'm basically collecting bottles that a trick that we'll do later don't collect very well. Like, they just can't be collected by the trick we're gonna do, and I'll explain that once we get to it. Here we'll do a super jump. I'll probably use the elephant to help me get behind this guard quickly. Using the elephant, there's more safety, but with the super jump, we set our ground position up on top of the wall. And Sly's ground position can't update near guards, so we try to stop our super jump behind that guard and use it to where we can get up back on the palace wall very quickly. Unlucky guard spawn there, but it happens. He shouldn't have spawned in because I was right there, but sometimes the game doesn't care about Sly's positioning of whether or not it's going to spawn a guard. Didn't kill that guard, we need to kill him. He will be an issue if we let him live. Moving on to guard 3 here. Instead of banging the gun like the game tells us to, we can break this chair, then move around him very quickly and pickpocket him a lot faster. But I'm going to be grabbing bottles that I know I need to grab throughout this. Okay, I'll be taking damage here. 1, 2, 3. Smoke bomb there to get the guards off my back, but I need to take damage throughout this job to do a death abuse at the end of it. In any percent, we would die right after getting this key. But in 100%, there's a bottle we need to collect, so we take this last bit of damage from the guard, come up here, hit our last bottle, and fall into the void, and take our death. So it moves us all the way back over to where we started the job, which is faster than running over there manually. But with that, we finished the job. What we're about to get into here next is get into a trick called Bottle Crash. And 100% we do two different we do bottle crashes in two different positions for safety reasons, because we need to collect all these bottles to actually finish the run. So I'm going to try to get this position right. There we go. That one's a little finicky, but with Bottle Crash itself, the trick, how we're trying to get the camera itself stuck inside that tree, and the result of it, kind of like despawn. Well, not despawns. I think it moves slide to origin, so 0-0, where all the job triggers are stored. Because so Sly's like where he is here on the map, but he's also at origin at the same time. It's weird. He's kind of like in two places at once, but that's why he's invisible right now. But the good thing about this trick is it helps us move around the map very quickly if we can do it in a very quick manner. Another thing that's really good for 100% that helps us in the 100% job itself a lot quicker is that trick breaks any bottles that are spawned in where Sly is through that. So with an optimal bottle crash there for this mission, after we should have collected at least the max we can collect is 18 bottles, which is the most optimal outcome. So we should have 28 bottles by the end of the after we check after this job. But right now, we're in the guest house over here, trying to secure pieces of a tuxedo. The pieces themselves are in the same spots, so we'll be doing very specific movement throughout this area. Because we know where the costume, the tuxedo pieces are. But alert status is very important here, because if you carry it to some weird places here, you'll have guards attacking you like this, which is not good. But you can manage it normally. You just don't want to get hit too much. Every time you get hit here, you kind of lose a little bit of time because Sly gets knocked into hit stun. But it's alright. It's not like such bad time loss that the run's over, but we want to get through this area as quick as possible. Here we'll purposely get caught because it helps us with this final flashlight guard here at the end, where we'll use a smoke bomb and hit him to get around him. Then hope that we don't maintain alert status through this area to where we can just get to the end of this level, well, to the final piece very quickly. But there is that. Now we'll load to prevent us from having to run all the way back to the safe house, and we'll select Murray to do his job next, battle the chopper. We can also check how many bottles we got. I only got 15, so there's 3 bottles I'm missing. There's a second bottle crash we will do. I can see 2 of the bottles I'm missing, so that's fine. You can also do a little cutscene skip there, where you touch the trigger to run back and mash circle to where you interact with this this switch to activate the turret to save some time. Another thing that I used there was Murray's turnbuckle launch that gets unlocked in this episode to get up on this roof a lot quicker. Another thing that'll mess with people who are a bit more familiar with this game, sorry, is killing this chopper. It is difficult because there's no aiming reticle. This gun overheats very quickly if you just hold the R1 button. So through a combination of mashing and getting used to the controls itself, you can kill that chopper very quickly if you know what you're doing. Then I'll go back to Sly. We will set up on a tree here to do yet another bottle crash. I will do a very specific one to where I am aimed, so I break some bottles. I could have broken all the bottles I needed there. I could have only broke like 2 of them. I could have broke only 1, but it's just to help me out to where I don't have to do as much bottle cleanup at the end. Unlike any percent I don't care about the bottles, but well, for 100%, I need the bottles to finish the run. So we do those 2 separate bottle crashes to make sure we get the maximum amount of bottles we can with bottle crashes, because after a certain point, it's diminishing returns. Every time you do a bottle crash, you just won't collect bottles anymore, and after a certain point, it's not optimal to do bottle crashes. Like, we only get basically the 2 chances where we do them, to where it doesn't lose us time, and after that, whatever bottles we missed, whatever bottles we missed, we would just have to collect on our own with Sly after and on day 2 after this dance. But this is the dance itself, basic auto scroller, do the inputs as required. You can miss inputs occasionally. If you miss too many in a row or too many in total, you will fail the job and have to start the dance from the beginning, which is bad. But this is a good time to discuss bottle crashes if we need to further, since there's a lot of stuff to explain in such a short amount of time for this episode, which is surprising, because there's a lot of RNG stuff to explain. There's a lot of, not really tricks to explain, but the tricks are very technical, and it takes some mental gymnastics to explain it a little bit. But this would be a great time for donations. This dance is like this whole section is just long. This is like 4 minutes of an auto scroller, but it's not bad. Good music, nice chill time, with some donations off. Talk about tricks if we need to further, but during sections like this, it would be just great to just read stuff off after we've explained what we need to, and luckily I'll have other people to help me out with commentating, so it's not like me trying to rush to get everything into a 30-minute setting. I'll have other people to talk for me, so I can, one, focus on the run, especially during tougher moments, but somebody else might be able to explain things slightly more elegantly than me, and we can also discuss beforehand how we want to explain things. But here's the end of the dance. We'll do another quit out like we did before to save time, to skip it yet another cutscene, since this game has a lot of cutscenes that we can't skip. So we'll skip whatever we can while we have. This run is not my best, but for no reset and bad RNG and some bad movement, it's alright. Okay, quitting out. But with this quit out, this is also a good time for quit outs. Are a good time to also explain tricks if we still need time to do it, and also for donations. But coming back in, we need to move back over to Bentley. Another little trick here is Halogen Select. It's named after a runner of the community. You can actually buffer inputs before, well, not buffer, but you can basically have buttons held, and the game will enact on them on the first frame possible of the game being loaded in. So we can select Bentley very quickly there and leave the safe house in a very quick manner, saving some time. It's not a lot of time, but it's like a second or so. It definitely adds up throughout a full game run. And what I just did there was GSM, was trying to prevent guards from spawning in front of me, so I can run to this trigger and not get bothered by guards and get over here much faster instead of getting hit a couple times or having to avoid a guard to prevent you from getting hit. Which, guard spawn manipulation, we reorientate the camera to where we're running it towards it because the game spawns guards where you're looking. Okay, and this is RNG. This truck is RNG. Not bad.
그 지프는 완전히 망가졌어. 이제 하늘은 우리가 장악하게 됐어.
And since we don't need to collect the treasure, we'll just load and so back to slide. Halogen select is a little finicky here, so we like to be a little safe here and make sure we're loaded in and see that we're selected on Sly. Okay, I'm missing 3 bottles, so I'm going to need to collect them now. We might be a little unlucky, and it might be a bottle that... Yeah, okay, so what happened here is a very bad outcome of our bottle crashes, but it happens occasionally. Okay, I hit the trigger. It doesn't matter at this rate. In a normal run aspect, this run would have been resetted way far by now. But with our bottle crashes, there's a little bit of, say, RNG involved. And one big bottle that's a little annoying is this one down here. There's no, like, good time to grab it during the episode run, so we're hoping the bottle crash actually breaks it. But there are some few rare occasions where your bottle crashes aren't good enough and you don't get the bottles that you need. It happens. That's just a little unfortunate. But we'll get the last bottle here. Well, not the last bottle we need. The second to last bottle we need, but I know where the last bottle is. We purposely keep a bottle unbroken here, so I can actually keep track of which bottles I may be missing. But with that unfortunate there, we're going to lose quite a bit of time here. But that's just something RNG we have to deal with. In optimal setting, we would have, after Steal a Tuxedo or after Dominate the Dance Floor, we would have 28 to 29 bottles. And there'd be like 1 or 2 bottles we need to clean up for Elephant Rampage, and they're in optimal positions to where it doesn't really lose us much time to go and collect them. But bottle crashes can be a little finicky, and there is diminishing returns after the first. Basically, after the first one, you start getting diminishing returns because there's a chance that bottles may not be spawned in and they may not break with the trick the second time. Even though we do 2 different ones, there's still a chance that you get unlucky. A little unlucky on this first elephant, but it's fine. I was a little too slow to get on there. But this is also all cycle based. We want to get on the elephant. We want to basically complete this job as fast as possible by getting back on the elephant's back as quick as we possibly can after getting a ruby. So we're a little behind the optimal cycle, but it's fine. There's plenty of stuff we can do to do it. Guard's a little annoying here. They can actually make things a lot more difficult, depending. Oh no. That's a first. I was stuck inside the elephant's head there for a second. Not the best elephant rampage, but we'll be okay. Sometimes you just get a little unlucky with your movements. Because the unintended jumps we do here, sometimes you mess up your angling a little bit and you get blocked by the... you get blocked by the... okay. You get blocked by the edges of the collision of this basket, which prevents you from getting in, so you just get knocked down and the game just says no and you're sad. But that's Elephant Rampage. Very huge time loss here due to bad bottle crashes and
이 보석들을 이용하면 초강력 톱을 만들 수 있을 거라고.
there's probably a marathon thing we can do to make it a bit more consistent for that bottle that's a little annoying at times. Do it, but there's our 30th bottle. We've done one of our completion requirements for that. You can skip this cutscene. Well, you can skip that trigger there by jumping over at a not specific angle, but a kind of like, it's not exactly specific, but you want to jump at a specific angle to where you like kind of tippy toe on that, to where we can enter here without interacting with the trigger, which allows us to skip the cutscene that plays once you first enter here. Also, to get the code quickly there, I table clip underneath the table, which I know has the code, to get under it very quickly and out of it very quickly to do it. But there is the Insanity Strike. There is our final 100% requirement for the run. Collecting all 30 bottles, then collecting the safe gadget, in addition to completing all the jobs.
무도회장 위에 있는 전기 윈치를 조정할 수 있으려면 금거실의 컴퓨터를 모두 해킹해야 돼. 그러면 나와 슬라이는 여기에 왜 있는 거지? 내가 서버에 들어가는 즉시 우린 발각될 거야.
But we'll be going into a job here where we defend, or need to defend Bentley while he hacks these computers. During a full game run, we will be farming some coins here while also defending Bentley, because we need coins throughout the full game run to buy gadgets that are fast. But during this episode run, I can basically make sure Bentley's gonna be safe and he doesn't take any unnecessary damage. That makes the job slower, because the more damage he takes, you just increase the chances of you messing something up, because we're a little risky in this job. We do, at the end, we do allow Bentley to take some intentional damage, so all the guards are like gathered up next to him and easy to kill to end the job sooner. But if he takes any damage before then, it's not good. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're on hack number 3 of 6. Bitwing goes back and forth between these computers 3 times in total, for a total of 6 hacks. Oh, cool! I got it. There's a nice little small optimization you can do here. If you punch the guard at a right angle here, you can actually get them stuck on top of that chandelier. For safety's sake, I'm only going to do 1 guard, because normally after the first guard, it gets really not inconsistent, but dangerous to do it, because you run the risk of the guards hitting each other, then killing both of them. Because we need the guards to be at a specific area at the end there, so... Oh, I forgot to split for Elephant Rampage. I'll skip that.
전송되는 데이터를 연결한 다음 안전할 때 이곳을 빨리 빠져나가자고.
But there is that going into the operation now. Good time we'll expand a little bit for the operation to begin here, but the end of the end part of this operation is like a giant auto scroller. Great time for closing comments. Great time for donations, stuff like that. But this run itself, like, we had some unfortunate stuff happen. Like, I don't think in a marathon setting we're gonna be breaking any world records or like getting a top level time, but it's just nice to show off some really cool tricks and actually the movement of what it takes to collect the bottles, because the movement of like slide to 100% stuff is actually very interesting and cool, but it's not very popular compared to any percent because people don't want to collect things, but it's fine. But we'll set up a cutscene skip here. Basically use the death abuse to skip that cutscene with the trigger bomb.
위에 있는 것을 파괴하기 전에 아래쪽 고정 장치들을 모두 폭파해야 돼.
You can jump up here after you're 8 of 9. If you're also fast enough, you can actually drop some bottles. Sorry, drop some bombs beforehand. But the center cleats on the upper portion, you need to drop 2 bombs on them to destroy them, and the outside edges, you only need to drop 1 bomb. So we go in a specific order, so we're avoiding our own bombs from damaging us and knocking us off the bridge and possibly killing us. And also trying to move in a pattern that helps us avoid the RNG of the rocks falling and hitting Bentley, losing us some time. But now we're into the giant auto section portion. We have dance number 2 with specifically Carmelita, where Murray's going to descend down from the heavens of this ballroom, use a ruby bladed saw to cut the clockwork wings off the statue, and then be hoisted back up into the crawl space above, then to leave. But same thing as the dance before, just play it as is, don't miss any inputs. If you miss inputs, too many inputs or too many in a row, you will fail, causing quite a bit of time loss. But getting into closing comments, I'm submitting both 80% and 100%. I don't personally mind. I'll pretty sure put it in my comments of my submission of it being a donation incentive to have 100%. It doesn't have to be too big, to be honest. There's not much difference between the runs themselves, but the movement that we do to get the bottles additional, separate from just like taking straight direct lines and any percent to make the jobs as short as possible. It's very interesting to watch some tricky movement that we do to collect all the bottles, and also to get to show off the usefulness of those bottle crashes that we do, and show how, other than the time save of the movement, that they're beneficial in the manner of allowing us to collect bottles, which saves a huge chunk of time overall. But episode 2 is just like, I wanted to submit episode 2 because episode 1's been at the at I believe it was SGDQ of 23. But to just like continue that order of episodes at the events in order, since getting a full game run into GDQ would be tough, but who knows.
이름은 어떻게 되시죠?
왜 산통깨를 가시죠?
네, 무슨 말씀이신지 모르겠군요.
날개가 클라고크의 날개에 무슨 일이 생긴 거야?
어떻게? 누가 그럴 수가? 어? 쿠퍼.
But after the dance section here, we'll be going to this escort section of Bentley with this banger song that only plays once in the whole entire game. But we'll be finishing it up. Time ends once Murray reaches the van with the clockwork wings. But we just gotta escort him there. He has a set path he takes. And there's no way to prevent him from. There's no way to make this faster. There is a way to make this faster, but it's very inconsistent. There's actually a proxy you can get, a guard proxy you can get here. You make a guard get hit by another guard's attack, and he flies into Murray, and you're hoping the proxy of that guard hitting Murray, like with his collision, pushes Murray in an optimal method, but it's very inconsistent. It was found by accident by one of our runners, and it was very cool. Definitely try it out myself after that to see if it was consistent, but it's very inconsistent. Like, you run the risk of losing more time with it than you do saving. But it's funny. But we're coming on the end here, and these are the last two guards that spawn in, then we'll just wait for Murray to run to the end. But I definitely hope that this is considered to be in the marathon. There might be a longer form video that I do submit, but I'm going to film that on a different day. But this is what I want to get into the things. I didn't split earlier, but like a 34. With some slight inconsistencies in RNG, 100% can lose quite a bit of the time. Like even even with like some very bad stuff happening, this is a 34, but like same as like an episode 2 run, it can like just as bad stuff can happen. An 80% run would be a bit safer, but with both like for safety's sake, just say a 35-minute estimate overall, just to, like as a good catch-all. Maybe a 33 minute estimate for 80%, and then a 35 for 100%, just to account for some weirdness. But this, depending on how RNG treats us and how on the stage runner performs, inconsistencies can happen, and that little leeway is kind of nice. But other than that, that is Sly 2 episode 2. This was 100%, and there'll be another VOD for any percent, but I hope this is considered. I would be definitely excited to show it off, but thank you for watching the submission. Hope you guys have a nice time.